Be honest, it's a little cold for these gloves, but Uncle John fucked up a little bit. And, it's actually rather late. We only have probably about like 20 minutes of sunlight left, or just light, I should say. So I'm gonna have to tolerate it. You know, if I get the giant ones, in which I cannot literally do anything, I have to take them off in order to open that gate and hook Aini up. I'm gonna have to, yeah. It's like literally you lose several minutes of a walk doing all that stuff. Although, actually, all things considered, I wonder if yeah, if I just start a stream. Obviously I have to take those off. That's, by the way, another thing that kind of like, you know, okay, let's put you in the pocket. In order to do anything in those gloves, you kinda have to... Oh, goddammit, I keep forgetting. I need to fix the gate. I need to fix the gate. Tomorrow, it will be much warmer. Actually, I should probably go out earlier. Yeah, fix the gate. Anyway, one interesting thing. Boom, sorry, wrong angle. Wasn't it wide angle before? I don't know. One interesting thing is that yeah, like in those giant gloves, you literally cannot do anything unless you take them off. And well, in certain temperatures, if you only take them off, Aini, don't do that, you're gonna lose your boots. And you would have been bleeding from both paws right now if you didn't wear them. You would have, you would have, oh, you would have scratched the F out of yourself on this ice. Anyway, you only take them off for a couple seconds, it's okay, but if you have to do anything even remotely, like, I don't know, find a song you want or something like that on your phone, like, that's just way too much, you know, way too much exposure to like 0 degrees air. So like, you might as well just wear something really shitty, but something you can operate your phone with. Those giant like fucking boomer gloves, I mean, it's nice and all, but like, it's so impractical, it's ridiculous. Goodbye winterized leather gloves or something like that. But those all start at like $200. You can buy cheap fake leather ones from Amazon that aren't winterized, or winterized without any of the actual winterization technology. You know, they just slapped some fake fur to the inner lining. Okay, cool. Fantastic. And that shit will literally not work. I used to wear leather gloves pretty much all the time, especially in the winter. And the funniest thing, because it still prevents direct contact with the cold air. Like my skin doesn't get my skin condition doesn't get triggered, where my skin just comes off my hands. But and funny enough, that thing does get triggered often, even when you just wear like normal, like really puffy, like mittens or gloves. even if they're really thick, but as long as they aren't 100% like windbreaking, they don't have a layer that completely stops wind. Like, yeah, my hands are gonna get fucked even in those. So that's funny. But anyway, yeah, leather gloves are really cold. Leather gloves need to be really winterized to be used in the winter. Otherwise, it's like you're wearing nothing. Like, even wearing shit like this technically does have a little bit of effect. Leather gloves almost have, it feels like, negative effect. It's almost like I didn't know it was a thing, because physically it shouldn't be possible, but you know, some of the skull caps, because I mean, I went voluntarily bald recently because it was just starting to get embarrassing and impractical also. When you combine those two, it's like, okay, well, what's the point anymore, right? So I, you know, suddenly I got very interested in getting myself some kind of scully, you know, something to put on my head, because it's fucking cold, mate. It's cold. The back of my head is just constantly cold unless it's covered with something, and it's been like half a year, by the way. And I've been keeping my hair short now, and yeah, I don't know. I cannot. It's almost exactly the sensation of like a light brain freeze that I have at the back of my head ever since I went bald. And I didn't used to have it. Like, it's not something that, like, ooh, your scalp is whatever, you know, sensitive, and you somehow didn't notice it until you cut your hair short. Like, no, first of all, it's not that sensitive, and second, it legitimately never used to be a problem at all. Because there was always a shit ton of hair covering that area, because, you know, my hair would usually be, you know, held back by something. I would rarely just, you know, walk around like fucking heavy metal assholes who just have their hair down all the time and never do anything to it. It's just way too fucking impractical. I mean, if literally all you do is fuck, go on stage and do drugs, maybe it's okay for you to have your hair down 24/7. I cannot. Like, my hair, like, yeah, sure, I let it down when I'm on stage, but like, I cannot do anything unless it's up, because, dude, it's in my face. It's not even in my, it's in my hands. It's in my hands, the hair. Get the fuck out of my hands. How can I get this hands out of my fucking way? Okay, that was a little bit of In Flames for you. I know nothing. Not a single person recognized the song. It's from Come Clarity, I believe. Okay, well, the album, I mean, not the song. I don't remember which particular song it is from, actually. So, anyway, we live in the fucking eternal winter here. We need to do something, but whatever. And yeah, some of those scullies, right? Some of those scullies are not made to keep your head warm. They're actually made to keep it cool. And those things legitimately make it colder. You think, okay, you slap a piece of fabric on your head. Obviously, it's additional shielding of a kind, so it needs to keep warmth. No, some of those things made out of this like fake plastic material that just perpetually works, you know, on keeping itself below the ambient temperature. And yeah, those things make you colder. 100%. They do exist. I wish I had the problem of my head being too hot. No, it's too cold. So that's what fucking leather gloves do in the winter. If they're not winterized, they are just like terrible. They are so goddamn cold, it's ridiculous. I was even told once, like, dude, I think the leather gloves you just gave me I think they're making my hands colder than they were without them. And I'm like, yeah, well, doing my best. I don't think that's actually the case, but I definitely understand why you feel that way, because it does feel that way. God damn it, it is way too cold. No, I know last time I said it, I actually was not. Hey, there was a bunny there. And this asshole completely missed it. Last time I said it, I was actually okay. But right now, we are still in the beginning stages of our walk. And yeah, I miscalculated, dude. It's way too cold. Yeah, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to regret it soon. I may actually cut the stream, like, pretty much about now, so I can alternate having my hands in my pocket. Which actually will be rather difficult, because all kinds of twigs will need to be managed out of my face. Ow! God fucking damn it. Prickles. In just a minute. Anyway. I don't know if you can tell, but it's basically Ragnarok. We're basically done. In just about 10 minutes, we'll be near complete darkness. Twilight. That's right. So, what are we doing here? So, funnily enough, yesterday I talked about Tomb Raider 2013, but I still did not revisit my takes on those infamous 3 games that I played in the last couple of months, which was a little bit of a big deal for me, I suppose, of a kind. And I don't know if there's anything else I want to say about those, because I've made 3 reviews for them, consecutively shorter ones. And like at this point, I am down to having like maybe 1 sentence about each of them, in me. But I don't know if even that's worth it. So, Dead of Boy, God of War 4, God of War Cinematic Sony reboot. Finally played that on PC, of course. The game is so much better if you use flawless full screen and bump up the FOV. Of course, also I played on ultra wide. The game supports it. That was nice. So yeah, you play it like that, and it's actual ultra wide support, right? So like you get additional shit on the sides, so the character looks even more centered. When you play in ultra wide, the character looks even less off centered because you have more stuff on the sides. And when you increase the FOV sufficiently enough, I don't remember, with some other games it happened like that as well. Like when you really increase the FOV, the character, like the stupid like offset to the side, like camera position, actually starts looking even less like that. It becomes almost centered, and it really improves the feel of the game. Smells very skunky in this entire area. I don't like it. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other about the smell. I don't care about the ability, the prospect of us encountering, the source. And anyway, so myself, played the game finally. All right, and what was I talking about that? Oh yeah, so playing on PC. Immediately, like, so much better experience. Okay, 60 FPS. You can even go higher. With flawless flawless widescreen rather. Sorry, you can go like really high FOV. Improves the game tremendously. There's even a calling fix for that as well. So hardly anything gets broken by the increased FOV. But yes, the game does rely on its FOV to be the way it is. No, push. Too close. Come on. Fucking asshole. Okay, let's go. So yeah, definitely play that game on PC. I mean, it's an advice that's like I don't have to give, really. It's an advice not worth giving. But obviously, if you're going to play the game, play it on PC. Like, who's gonna play it on PS4 at like 25 FPS? Like, no. No, don't play it on console, period, because the game is so much better if you increase the FOV. Like, it's just, like, there's no reason. Zero reason to play it on console. It doesn't matter, PS5 or PS6, doesn't matter. Console versions are just unplayable compared to the experience you can get on PC. As for the game itself, it was much better than what I was expecting. Its cinematic, slop premium experience wasn't actually that bad. The cutscenes were not that long at all. There is a little bit of forced walking, and forced walking in God of War is fucking ridiculous because you literally can only walk forward during those sections. Like, if you press any other direction, Kratos is just not gonna go. So that's, like, yeah, those walking sections are pretty embarrassing from the design perspective. Like, they don't even give you even an illusion of kind of like Gordon Freeman type of, agency in those walking cutscenes. Like, nope. You either go forward or you don't go anywhere. It's ridiculous how those were made. Like, literally, yeah. Like, those specific walking sections deserve just like huge criticism. Like, yeah, dude, at that point, just make a goddamn cutscene. Legit. Some cutscenes where maybe you are forced to slow walk, but you still have your player agency otherwise. It's kind of like, maybe it's debatable. It may have a place in a game or two, right? Obviously, when characters just randomly start bantering during, like, otherwise completely unlimited gameplay, that has a place in video games, obviously. But yeah, the thing where you literally can only walk forward slowly, and that's it. No other direction actually does anything. I don't think even The Last of Us has had stuff like that, or any of the Uncharted games. That's legitimately embarrassing. But there's not a lot of. Well, there's actually quite a few moments like that. But again, they're not that long, and therefore they don't happen that often. They're not that annoying. Gameplay becomes almost negligible at one point. It starts really badly. In a couple of hours, when you get enough abilities, it just becomes you offload all of your runic attacks and just farm for rage, and then activate rage and win encounters. And after about 10 hours, it stops being particularly annoying. It's never great. I don't understand people who really simp for that combat. It's not particularly good, no. And for the record, it's not even remotely as good as God Hand. But it's not that bad. It's just very RPG. It's basically like an action RPG type of combat, and not in a Dark Souls way. No, it's in a way where it's almost like in like Dragon Age 2 way, or something like that. Because here's the win. There's a talisman that allows you to reset your runic attacks, to make them repop immediately, because they are they are on a MMORPG. Oh, god damn it, I forgot the term for it. Right, but you can, like, after you use them, right, they need to recharge, and the recharge takes a set amount of time. Recall, they are on a recharge, whatever the word for it is. I'm sorry, I don't play Overwatch or League of Legends or any of that trash, so the word escapes me. Okay. So you do one runic attack, another one, you pop the talisman, and you do them again. So 4 in a row is pretty much, even no matter which ones you pick, are going to be enough to kill, first of all, almost any enemy. Second, get you out of a shit ton of problematic situations with bosses. It gives you poise, by the way, also. You can take damage, but you take reduced damage, I'm pretty sure. And then, once you get the blades, dude, you have 4 runic attacks between 2 weapons, and then you pop the talisman and you do 4 more. You just melt. You melt shit in front of you, literally. And the funniest thing is that the longer you play, the less your attacks actually do damage. Like, towards the end of the game, I noticed that I might as well just spam R1 and do pretty much as much damage in the set amount of time as if I was just like spamming fully upgraded runic attacks the entire time. So the game's RPG system, in terms of dealing damage at least, is so fake. All the game cares about is the level, and your gear affects your level. And shit in the game is level gated. So let's talk about the RPG elements. RPG elements in the game are fake, except for the level. So if someone is level 3 and you're level 1, screw that. If you're level 2 and the enemy is level 6, you're fucked. You will do literally no damage to that enemy at all. But then suddenly, if you are level 3, but all your equipment was being upgraded for like health, for example, between 2 and 3, all you upgraded was health. Okay, but you are level 3 now though, not 2. Suddenly you do damage. Because it's... Okay, so why do we have the stats then? If only levels pretty much matter. It is so fake. And the other way in which those things are fake are the simple fact that we don't... There is only one challenge in the entire game, and those are the Valkyrie battles. Every other boss fight of any meaning, well, because those are... All the other boss fights are, you know, story-related, obligatory battles. All that stuff, dude, like all of that stuff is QTE. The final boulder fight is a QTE, essentially. Like, not literally, but it is. You know, it's divided into 4 stages, between which you have checkpoints. And you can absolutely melt him between those 2 stages. And then if you die, you don't start the whole battle again. You start from the checkpoint. Yeah, we did. I did hear something. Wanna go look? Wanna go look who it was? Maybe it was a coyote. Wouldn't be fun. Well, I have my knife with me, so let's go hunt some animals. Anyway. So yeah, the fake RPG system was actually pretty interesting for a little while, but towards the end of the game, when you realize that the whole thing is fake, it gets rather frustrating, and you just you lied to me. And also, I think the story campaign maxes out at level 5 in terms of enemies, and you can absolutely, like, as something like level 3 or 4, you will do 0 damage to like level 7 enemies, and you will be one-shotted by them. Yeah, that's so God of War, ain't it? But also, you can totally do level 5 though, as level 3. Unless you're doing Valkyries or whatever. I don't actually know what level Valkyries are. But basically, the game literally has... All of the level 6 and 7 enemies are from like optional stuff. And not even optional quests, like legitimate like mini optional islands that you can explore on the lake, and those like void battles when you get like the piece of whatever bullshit for upgrading talisman size, I think, or something. I don't remember. But you know, the Dark Void, half of which are just Kratos, you know, putting, like James Sunderland style, putting his hand into a black anus. And sometimes there's an item there, and sometimes there's a battle in there, and then there's an item. Come on, Jules, let's go look. And yeah, I did not appreciate those because they are all pretty much level 7 or even 8, all of those battles. And it's complete bullshit because you just can't, you can do nothing towards those guys unless you are at least level 4 or 5 yourself, probably 5. So why even have those there? Okay, cool. So you can come there later. Yeah, but the thing is that it's pointless and completely unnecessary, okay? And this connects me to the other thing. So you might as well just stay at level 3. You might as well more or less ignore the entire RPG system because all the boss fights are QTEs and all the normal enemies, they max out around level 5. I think 5 is the maximum level of enemy you will see in the story campaign, in the main campaign, or even in the optional stuff. Unless you're playing New Game Plus, you will never see anyone above 5 if you just stick to the main stuff. Only if you go out of your way, you do the the void stuff, and you do the random warrior, like those warriors that guard like the gates. You know, with the where you need to like light those braziers, right? Like those guys are high level also. If you don't go out of your way, right, to do exploration and to find those things, it's completely pointless to go beyond like level 4, probably even 3. And yeah, so exploration now. Why would you ever go back to any of those places after you have leveled up to like see what's there? First of all, what's there is an upgrade material. It's not like Dark Souls where if you go explore, you will find some weapon or some ring that can completely challenge the playstyle or be necessary for a build, you know, of a certain playstyle, completely different from the one you have discovered, you know, right now. Let's assume this is like your first playthrough of Dark Souls. The entire world is hella interconnected, so it's actually not that difficult to backtrack to some other place and like, okay, I'm big and fat now, I'm gonna go kill that like mini, you know, skill check mini boss there. I'm gonna go kill that Black Knight finally in the Undead Bird, right, and see what the knight was guarding. It's not that difficult to backtrack there. In God of War, the world is not interconnected. It pretends to be about exploration, it pretends to be a mini Metroidvania, but what it has one big hub in the middle, and from that hub you have straight lines going into different directions. Once you are on that line, you are locked. And it's not Metroidvania, first of all. And second, because even if you do go in a direction that is completely optional, right? And you think, okay, well, let's go find something that the game may not necessarily expect you to have or consider as optional. Maybe it's some cool stuff and I'll be really rewarded for my curiosity, right? And my, you know, my sense of discovery or whatever, or sense for discovery. Nope, it's just going to be upgrade material. You know, upgrade material for what? For the RPG system that is pretty much pointless. Okay, congratulations. You know, you played yourself, DJ Khaled, another one. Say my name. And yeah, that's pretty much the game. Unlike something like Dark Souls 1, which is exemplary, right? Metroidvania. In Dead of Boy, there is absolutely no way for you to go off the beaten path, beaten one, and go find yourself some item that is that completely changes the way you play the game early on. Like, no, it's an entirely linear experience with occasional optional stuff you can choose to do for a reward that is basically just your own curiosity. That's it. Other than that, you're not getting anything. You may get a copy and pasted Korok seed level challenge. Okay, we check that bunny again. That's fantastic. Good job. It's still there. You said hi. Good job. But that's about it. So what are you gonna do on your New Game Plus? What are you gonna do on your second playthrough? In Dark Souls, your second playthrough is going to be completely different from your first one, and your third one is going to be completely different from that also. So yeah, in Dead of Boy, is there exploration? Technically yes, but it will not lead to results like that at all. It's just a waste of time, honestly. And another thing is that the game has so many of these copy and pasted Korok Seed challenges. You break the rune, you ring the bells, and they are all mechanically they are satisfying. Okay, absolutely, they are satisfying mechanically. The first 10 times you do them. The 500th time you do any of them, it starts to get a little bit redundant, and I don't understand what the obsession was that the developers had. The obsession with just like putting so many of those in the game. Like, I don't understand why it was necessary to have so many, but they did. Okay, they put like a ton of these absolutely identical mini puzzles that you have to do all the time. There's much more of those puzzles than just running around than like actual, like, say, combat, So that's primarily, that's the primary thing you do in the game. You walk around looking for rings to bell and runes to smash with an axe throw. That's probably at least 50% of the game. The other 50% is just walking. Maybe the remaining quarter is combat, but I don't think it's even a quarter of the game that is combat. Maybe if you split that quarter 50-50 again between like cutscenes, QTEs, and then the remaining like 12 and a half will be combat. Like, that's the very best, probably, I can give this game. And yeah, ever replaying Dead of Boy is completely out of the question, because doing all those brain dead mini puzzles again, like, even though overall I kind of want to say that the game is alright, I kind of liked it even, but I was completely exhausted by the end of it with its like exploration. I could not explore. I could, like, if there was one more side quest in the game, I wouldn't do it. I would just, no. Like, that was just too much. Legitimately too much of the same thing. The amount of repetition in the game is just way too much. On the main story, I'm not going to comment much. It's okay, but it's also cheap and obviously overblown. Like, the arcs just make absolutely no sense. It's almost like they made the game and then Sony told them, oh, but this game needs to be 3 times longer though, and they just copy and pasted the same arc from, like, that they had, and they said, okay, boom, now it's the full game. I'm like, no. It's like 3 games in once, really. The way the game recycles its own environments, recycles enemies, and just, bloats itself up, it makes no sense for that to be in a AAA game. Uncharted was never made like that. The Last of Us was never made like that. Dead of Boy has so much asset flipping. It's, like, honestly, in terms of assets, in terms of actual content, right? Unique content that's in that game, they probably made, at best, they made like a quarter of a game. And then they asset flipped what they had, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, until they had those like 35, 40 hours of experience. Like, that's it. That's how they did it. And that's not how Uncharted is made ever. That's not how any of those like cinematic Sony games are supposed to be made, where you just like, you make one boss like the troll boss, and you copy and paste it 15 times. No, that's not how those games are supposed to be made. So I don't know if people who actually played God of War, they realize it, but guys, that game is actually pretty cheap. Like Santa Monica made like a really polished SDK, like a package of assets and like animations and like everything like that, for probably about a 5-hour-ish long game, and then they stretched it over 35 hours of experience. And I could feel it. I'm not sure why no one else could tell that this game, like, yeah, sure, it looks expensive, but it feels cheap if you actually play it and like you engage with it. Because you can tell there's 5 hours of game in this 40-hour experience. So yeah, that was rather baffling, because I just couldn't understand. After about like 15 to 20 hours into this whole thing, I was really just baffled. Like, why are we like, this is just all the same shit from the first hour of the game. And the first hour of the game, by the way, is so polished, it's amazing. The Winter Wonderland section near the Kratos house is like the best Winter Wonderland part of the game. The entire rest of the game doesn't look even half as good. Okay, and that's pretty much it. My phone is out of battery, so bye-bye. I wish the rest of the game looked as good as that section of the game, but no, the rest of the game actually looks rather generic, with the whole like Dwarven / Asgard stuff, like technology, you know, the ancient whatever. It actually kind of looks like Unreal Engine tech demo style from the Unreal Engine 3 and 4 era. Yeah. Other than that, it's an okay game. I cannot say I recommend